What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So there's some new data out that is showing that Republicans are going to really struggle in the midterm election. And I'm going to show you this information, and we're going to be looking at the different issues and how President Trump stacks up when it comes to these different issues. Why are we talking about President Trump? We're talking about President Trump because generally a midterm election is a referendum on the president. And so if the president is not doing well in these different categories, then that is going to impact these Republicans who are running for re-election. These Republicans that are trying to defend the House and defend the Senate. Will they be able to do that? Right now, looking at the new data, it's showing us that it's not going to be easy for Republicans. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. So let's go ahead and take a look and listen to Harry Anthony. He's going to be talking about foreign policy. But after this clip, we're going to take a look at some of the other issues that President Trump is struggling in. So let's go ahead and take a look. Here we go.
So how's the president doing on foreign policy?
Bad. I mean, he came into office, during the campaign, I'm going to end the wars. Well, the wars aren't ending, and if anything, we're adding to them. And you can just see it right here. I mean, Trump and foreign policy in 2024 versus Kamala Harris. Foreign policy was a strength for this president. He was trusted more in foreign policy than Kamala Harris by a 10-point margin. Among independents, he was trusted more by 14 points. Come over to this side of the screen. The net approval now on foreign policy in 2026. Down he goes, right into the Strait of Hormuz. Look at this. 22 points in the negative direction, a minus 22-point net approval rating. That is a drop of over 30 points. And among independents.
And I like to look at the information they put at the bottom of the screen, but he says CNN and then Quinnipiac. So it looks like they're two separate polls. So what I like to see in situations like this, I like to see if it's a CNN poll that was done back then and a CNN poll that's done now. That's a little bit different. But if you're taking two different polls, you can really, depending on what polls you select, you can make that number a lot larger than what it could potentially be. What they should be doing is looking at the polling averages, and that's what we'll do after this. We'll take a look at the polling averages because that gives us a better idea of where the numbers really are.
Dependency is now at minus 30 points. I love those notes at the bottom of the screen, Johnny B. So that is a movement of 44 points among independents. Foreign policy, which was a strength for this president during the 2024 campaign, has become a weakness for him here in 2026, leading up to this midterm campaign.
And that's the big story here. I mean, you're looking, even though we're looking at two separate polls, you're still looking at a situation where President Trump was favored just back in 2024, fast forward 2 years, and now he's underwater. And that's clearly underwater. Even if we're looking at just one poll, it's still showing us that he's underwater, minus 22. And when I show you the polling averages, he's still underwater. So just looking at that shift, that is major because that is going to impact how people vote in the midterm election.
Maybe because of Iran, but the president said he was going to end the Russian war on Ukraine in one day.
Yeah, he said he was going to end it in one day. Well, I don't know about you, but here in reality, the war is still going on. And obviously that has been in the news very much recently. And you could see it right here, Trump in the Russia-Ukraine war. Look at this in 2024. Again, it was a strength for him. Slightly more trusted than Kamala Harris by 2 points. You come over to this side of the screen. Again, the net approval, the shift very much in the negative direction. Down he goes now at minus 19 points. That's a 20-point switcheroo. And among independents, we're talking about a shift from plus 7 points, them trusting Donald Trump more on the Russia-Ukraine war, to now his net approval rating, negative 36 points. Again, over a 40-point shift away from the president of the United States. Again, foreign policy, which was such a strength for this president during the 2024 campaign against Kamala Harris, has become an anchor for his presidency. We're talking foreign policy at large. We're also talking about Russia-Ukraine war.
And we should mention, when he's talking about independence here, why is he talking about independence? Because independents are going to determine what we see in the midterm election. So, and then I see that he has independents aggregate, so he is using an average here with these numbers, which is good. But independents, they are the key voting bloc, and that's why he's focusing on them.
Iran, what direction are his numbers moving right now?
Yeah, you know what? They started in the negative and they become more negative. I mean, look, Trump's net approval rating in Iran. In March, it was minus 19 points. You talk about here, look at this. Again, You start in the negative at minus 19 points. You say it can't get any worse. It absolutely has gotten worse. We're talking now minus 28 points, a shift again of about 10 points in the negative direction from an already low point. And I'm not thinking that the rise in gas prices will help him out very much.
Let's talk about rising gas prices here, because that's been really a big factor when you talk about consumer sentiment here. And gas prices have decreased. They did decrease.
They did.
They started to creep up again. What are the prediction markets saying? How do people feel like they're going to go over the next few weeks?
Yeah, you look at the prediction markets, that was, we had seen some slight increases in Trump's approval rating, still very negative, but slight increases as the gas prices went down. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if that upward trend and the slight upward trend, Trump's net approval rating starts going down again, because chance gas prices in July rise above $4 a gallon. July 12th, just a few days ago, was a 32% chance according to the cash production market. That is more than doubled, up to a 75% chance now, going in the wrong direction. And that means Trump's net approval rating will likely follow.
That is a very quick change there. You can see the sentiment there shifting.
And clearly the gas prices, that's an issue because everyone feels that. We all feel it. We're going out, we get gas maybe once or twice a week. And so we know when gas prices are going up. And so President Trump can't come out and say, well, gas prices are down. They're down. If they're going up, we all know they're going up. And so that's, and I've seen, I just recently I got gas and prices have started to tick back up. So I want to make a quick pitch here. If you guys are liking the content on my channel, make sure you go over and join my Substack. It's free. And on my Substack, you're going to get articles that are based on some of the videos that I've posted, as well as every video that I post on YouTube, I also post it on Substack, and Substack will send you an email notification so you'll never miss any of my videos. Link is in the description. Okay, so now let's take a look at the president's job approval, and we're going to go over these different areas. So when it comes to different issues. So overall job approval, this is Real Clear Politics that we're looking at. All we're looking at is this yellow bar here. That's all we're going to focus on. This is the average. Okay, so they're taking all the different polls and they're averaging them, and this is what we get. And so when we look here off to the far right, you see the spread there is minus 15.4. Disapproval, 56.4. Approval, 41. Okay, so, and then this is between the period of 6/12 and 7/15. So he's underwater in that category. When we look at the economy, similar situation. You have the spread off to the far right here, minus 22.6. Disapproval, 59.8. Approval, 37.2. He's underwater in that category. Moving to foreign policy, this is what Harry Enten was talking about. Looking at foreign policy, off to the very right here, you have the spread at minus 15.9. Now that's a little bit lower than what Harry Enten was showing, but it's still in the negative. We go to disapproval, it's at 54.3. We go to approval, that's 38.4. And so you see he's clearly underwater here. When we look at immigration, this is something that President Trump was in the positive when he first came into office. And when he was running for re-election, he was in the positive. Looking here, off to the far right, it's minus 6.2. Disapproval at 51.7. Approval at 45.5. When we look at inflation, we know inflation hasn't changed. It's actually gotten a little bit more expensive to buy things. So looking at inflation, off to the far right here, the spread is minus 38.1. You have disapproval at 67. You have approval at 28.9. And so he's also underwater with inflation. Looking at crime, this is another area where President Trump was strong in during the 2024 campaign. Look at it now. We're looking at the spread off to the right here, minus 4.5. Disapproval at 50.2, approval at 45.7. So he's underwater in that category. Looking at the issue of Russia and Ukraine, off to the far right here, you have minus 18.5, disapproval at 55.6, approval at 37.1. He's underwater in that category. The issue of Israel and Hamas, off to the far right here, minus 14, disapproval at 53.5, approval at 39.5. He's underwater in that category. Every single category that Real Clear Politics has up here, he is underwater in every category. So now how does that play out for Republicans running for re-election and Republicans trying to win in the midterm election? It's not good. It's not good news because the president is not doing well. You have to understand these politicians that are running for office, these Republicans, they're either going to have to defend the president's record or they're going to have to pull away from the president. They know if they pull away from the president, they're going to lose some support. If they defend President Trump's record, they could also lose support. because people are going to look at the current economy. They're going to look at how things are right now. They're going to look at this war in Iran, if it continues on until November, and they're going to say, we need change, or we at least need someone to check the president. We at least need someone to push back when the president does things that we don't like. So Republicans are going to be in a real uncomfortable situation if we see this continue until November, if we see these same numbers in November. So now I want to pass it off to you. What do you think about this? Do you think information like this is showing us that Democrats are going to be able to take back the House, and they even could potentially be able to take back the Senate? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.